Hi, I'm Christy. Welcome. Here I am again. Some of you probably watched me last week putting up the fence around the garden and thought that's not gonna work. And yes, you were right. I'll get into that in just a moment. As I also mentioned last week, it got cold here. We even had snow. It was chilly the entire week, so I didn't get much garden work done. Mostly I ended up fixing what our chickens broke again and again. So me chasing after our chickens and going over our garlic bed wasn't just one time occurrence. I had to do it several times. I cannot wait for them to move into the summer coops, chicken tractors that I move daily on our closest pasture. Well, I'm not exactly looking forward to moving these heavy tractors every day. My husband builds things to last, but they usually end up being too heavy for me. But hey, that's just another way to keep me moving, right? Summer is the season of movement, and I know that's a good thing, but I've really enjoyed sitting inside and working with my hands lately. That's actually what I spent most of last week doing, and since I promised myself I wouldn't throw away any brown wool without at least testing it for spinning, I took another fleece, the last one really, from the workshop to try it out. I sorted through a small part of it. It's full of VM, so it's going to take time. I washed it and spun it into one ply yarn. It worked. The spinning went fine and the color is nice, but the yarn is very rough. I might use the wool as an accent to add some brown to white or black yarn. We'll see, especially since I still have my brown fleece from last autumn to process. That one is much better. Not next to skin soft, but softer than these older fleeces and cleaner with almost no VM. So I washed one skein of white yarn together with this small test of brown yarn. It's always crazy how washing and drying under some weight changes the texture of the yarn, right? I wind the yarn into balls once my skein winder is free. Now I have two more balls, the white one with the brown samples inside. I am a little sad the brown ended up inside the ball, but I didn't want to undo everything and start from the other end. Besides, I don't really have time to use this brown yarn yet anyway. Still, since I had that little brown ball, I had to see it in different light and angles, and of course I had to knit it too. I don't yet know what I'll use it for, but I just need to see how it looks and feels when knitted. And yes, it's definitely not soft, very rough. It might be okay if I weave it into material I could use for outer garment, like jacket or something. As for the white one ply yarn, I also had to knit with it. It's probably the softest yarn I've made, so it might be good for a shawl. I really like this pattern I'm using. I've knitted it before using handmade rowing. It's mostly pearl stitches, which is a challenge for me. I usually prefer knit stitches and tend to knit in a round. But yeah, I love this pattern, so I'm pushing through. We'll see how much yarn I have, whether I can get a nice sized shawl out of it. If not, I may unravel it. That's what I meant when I said knitting for the sake of knitting. Isn't it beautiful, right? Am I right? This yarn is all from one fleece. I still have these two skeins to wash. These are already washed, and this is the last one I washed and has a colored section inside. I also cooked and baked a lot last week. I made another focaccia that I and my family love very much. I did forget to film the finished bread though, but here I am using thyme from our own garden, chopping olives, and I used one whole garlic in this bread, and of course my own cheese. I fold all these add-ins in the day after mixing the dough. I fold all in and leave it to rise for several hours, and my focaccia was wonderful, so good. I also looked up a recipe for sourdough crackers from the internet and tested the recipe. There's also lots of cheese in these. Yet again, these were also so good. And I leave you with a little seedling update. Look how much they've grown already. It's been 11 days since sowing, and I need to start sowing the next round of crops in the coming days. That's it for this week's video. Thank you for watching and see you soon.